Jess. So today is my Bible study with me video. I'm doing a Proverbs a day. If you don't know about that, I'll go ahead and leave in the tags. But basically, I'm doing a Proverbs a day in May. So May 1st I started Proverbs 1 and I'm going to be continuing on this week. I already did a week in my life. I'll go ahead and leave that as well and linked down below. I'm going to be starting on chapter 6. Each day I'm going to be going over what I learned, what stood out to me, how that's significant. I'll have these videos up to help you guys out with context and everything. I'm not a professional, I'm not a pastor or anything, so this is just what I personally learned. If you guys learn anything, please leave it below. I'm sorry if I look a little rough. It's been a long day. It's May 6th. I was really tired this morning and so I slept in, and so I didn't read my Bible first thing in the morning. And I just now am at I think 11 o'clock at night. And it definitely had an impact on my day, a negative impact, because I feel like whenever I read the Bible first thing, I automatically my day goes by way better. I'm way more loving towards people. I'm way more positive about things. Laziness is one of the main sins that I think that America has, so we definitely need to talk about this. Anyways, so it says verses 6 through 11, "Go to the ant, you slacker. Observe its ways and become wise. Without leader, administrator, or ruler, it prepares its provisions in summer. It gathers its food during harvest. How long will you stay in bed, you slacker?" If this is convicting you right now, you might want to get out of bed. "When will you get up from your sleep?" What I should have listened to this morning. "A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the arms to rest. And your poverty will come like a robber, your need like a bandit." Let me just tell you, first of all, I slept in this morning. Of all things, God's just don't sleep in. Look at this. You're being lazy. A little slumber, a little more is gonna cause problems. And it did, trust me, it did. So reading this, I was just God, I know you're speaking to me. I'll get back to you tomorrow with chapter 7, and hopefully we got more out of that one. But yeah, see y'all tomorrow. So, a little disclaimer before I start. I'm sorry if it's really loud. My siblings are extremely loud. But so today is May 7th. I'm reading Proverbs 7. It goes through a story of seduction, a story of a man who is ignorant, or it says inexperienced, or it could mean gullible or naive. How he leads to sin and how he gets into sin. Following this prostitute shows a story of temptation and how that goes about. And I think the main thing that stuck out to me personally is he doesn't know that it will cost him his life. So it goes through this entire thing of temptation and everything that he did and what got him there. And it seemed something in a way simple, but then it ends with he doesn't know it will cost him his life. If you think about it, so many sins just start with being ignorant and inexperienced, or it says, gullible, naive. It just starts with giving into peer pressure. It just starts with giving into the temptation that seems so little at the time. But then it progresses and becomes worse and worse to the point where it costs you your life. All sins are equal in God's eyes. In chapter 6 where it talks about what the Lord hates, he hates all that. He hates all the sin. And so it doesn't matter whether it's whether it's a white lie or a huge lie, it's still a sin. And white lies, whether you believe it or not, or those small little sins lead to gradually just get bigger and bigger, because the excuses just keep coming, and they keep getting bigger and bigger, allowing you to give in to more and more temptation, just like this story. So if you read into the story, it's just like, whoa, like how did he even get to that point? But it just started with him passing by this woman, and he was inexperienced, he was naive. And the thing is, like, we have to get out of that ignorance. We have to realize, like, God needs to bring us out of that ignorance, so we know that God can bring us out of temptation. It does talk about how this woman causes temptation, and how this woman brings him to that point. And so what I wanted to also discuss is, it's in 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Come back to your senses as you ought, and stop sinning, for there are some who are ignorant of God. I say this to your shame. Bad company corrupts good character. This man, like, he might have had a good character, but that bad company corrupted it. For there are some who are ignorant of God. He was ignorant of God, that he gave in to that temptation. He didn't come back to God and stop sinning. In fact, that bad company just exploited that. And so I think a lot of times we just got to be careful and make sure that we're not around bad company, because it will, especially if we're not, if we're still ignorant and everything, it will cause problems, and it will, in the long run, cause you to sin and give in to temptation. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow with chapter 8. It is May 8th, so I'm reading out of Proverbs 8. First of all, I love the literature of this. I think that the literature of Proverbs and like a lot of the Old Testament it's really underrated, because in English it doesn't equal up to what it was in Hebrew. But I just love how Solomon is giving wisdom personification. And so throughout this entire chapter, and through other chapters too, it's just talking about wisdom as, like a woman, as a person. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. I think that's important to understand, is we cannot have fear of the Lord, and we cannot say that we're following God if we don't hate evil. And that's not saying that you are going to be perfect if you fear God. It's not saying that you're going to have a perfect fear of God. But you are supposed to hate evil. So if you're continuing to follow evil, and you're continuing to give in to temptation and all that, you're not really practicing your fear of the Lord. I love those who love me, and those who search for me find me. That kind of reminds me of the verse in the New Testament where it says, talking about Jesus, and he says, if you seek me, you will find me. Just in the same way, if we seek out God, we'll find him. We will also find wisdom if we seek wisdom. And it just has to be all in the right place. If we search for wisdom in this world, we're never going to find it. See you tomorrow for chapter 9. Today is May 9th, so I'm reading out of Proverbs 9. Don't rebuke a mocker, or he will hate you. Rebuke the wise, and he will love you. If you're wise and someone rebukes you, you still are going to love them. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Proverbs 1 says, in verse 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. If you go to chapter 9, verse 10, it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. If the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, but it's also the beginning of knowledge, and if knowledge of the Holy One is understanding, the fear of the Lord leads to wisdom, to knowledge to understanding. A lot of times this world, we're constantly trying to find understanding of what's going on. If you think about it, we're just trying to have knowledge of the Creator and understanding. And that all starts with not finding the best experiment or not the best case study. It starts with the fear of the Lord. I just love that because, I don't know, if you're looking for understanding right now in this virus and just trying to understand what God is doing, first start with the fear of the Lord. Start with the holy reverence towards God, and it will bring you wisdom, it will bring you knowledge, and then understanding. So I just wanted to end it with that. I'll be back with you tomorrow for the 10th chapter. Hey guys, so today is May 10th, so I'm reading out of Proverbs 10. This is full of couplets, which is poetry that is written in 2 lines. A lot of it is parallelism. It is random, and so it could pretty much fit to any stage of life, anything that you're going through, because you could always find at least one proverb that goes along with it. Hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers all offenses. The fear of the Lord prolongs life, but the years of the wicked are cut short. Not promises that you're going to live a long life and you're going to have a perfect life if you fear the Lord and if you're following God, but it will be a lot better spiritually, and it most likely will be better than if you were to live as a fool. So yeah, see you tomorrow with 11. Today is May 11th, and I just read Proverbs 11. I'm filming from my phone because my camera's dead. I've been filming today, but I just wanted to go over what stuck out to me for this chapter. And so the main things that stuck out to me was, first of all, like I said in the last clip, Proverbs is going over the parallels of living a righteous life and living an unrighteous life, being a fool or being wise. The main ones that did stick out to me though: without guidance, people will fall, but with many counselors, there is deliverance. I think a lot of times people try to take charge of different situations in life and don't realize that they need to go to other people and also go to God. And so I think it is really important to seek someone who's older and wiser when you're facing hard decisions of life. I'll get back to you tomorrow with 12, I believe. Yeah. I'm gonna go over a list of the foolish things, and then I'm gonna contrast that with going over the list of the wise things. Like, you really see the contrast, and I feel like if you think about it, like if you think about someone in your life, anyone in your life that's wise, and look at their life, and then look at all these characteristics of a wise person, they have those. Like, I think of my grandma and my grandpa a lot when I think of wisdom, because I always go to them for wisdom because they're probably the wisest people that I know. And like I said, like, they have all these, and obviously they're not perfect, they're human beings, but if you're a wise person, you're gonna have all these good characteristics. Now again, look at a fool, and I mean fool in God's eyes. So anyone who's following like in sin and different things like that, for example, like, I'm a fool half the time, but think of someone, maybe it's not even someone maybe it's just someone, like a celebrity. If you think about, celebrities that are, not following God, they have all these negative characteristics. So like I said, Proverbs is it's not necessarily promises from God, but it is like insights. So like, if you want to be wise, you'll have all these. But if you want to be, if you're just like, you know what, I'm just gonna follow my own ways, and you'll be right in your own eyes, but you're not gonna be right in God's. Friday I'll be posting like how I study my Bible. So This I'm gonna show footage of like what I wrote down, but I do have a color code for things, and so I'm gonna be showing how I do the color code and how I journal. And so definitely check out Friday's video and then next Wednesday's video for the Bible study again. See you next week. Bye.